Greetings and welcome back to Stellaris, the United Nations of Earth playthrough. So, quick update. We've started to expand a little. We have encountered the artisan troop, and as a matter of fact, I am going to contact them. Greetings, Dolores Mwanga. I, the headmaster of the artisan troop, greet you. What can we do for you? Perhaps produce a work of art for you to enjoy? Or maybe you wish to sponsor our enclave in its creation of otherworldly beauty. So we want them to tell us more about their troop. We are the artisan troop. The troop consists of several stations inhabited by creatives from many worlds, all unified in the desire to create new beauty in these safe havens. They bring their ideas and methods from all around the galaxy, and together we will find the ultimate expression of the self. We provide many services to those who wish to enjoy art. If you help sponsor our work, we might even be willing to organize larger events for your people. Well, we wish to become their patron. That would be very helpful, allowing us to try new ideas and take more risks in our creation process. We have a 10-year program with a one-time upfront cost. Now the cost depends on your empire size. With my current size, it should only be 1,000. It will give us 10% monthly unity and 20 opinion from them. Thank you very much. We will now, with your generous contribution, be able to expand on the concept of art itself. We will, of course, also send out a regular newsletter to all patrons. Now, it's through this regular newsletter I will have the option to trade energy credits for influence, which is what makes the artisan troop my favorite ones. And when we get up to a 50 opinion, we can have them organize a festival across our worlds, which is really good. It can have disadvantages, but for the most part it's advantageous. And we can commission up to, I think, 5 art pieces from them to display on different planets. Right now I don't need one, so I'm not going to do that. So goodbye, Headmaster Eyes of Aquamarine. Alright, so we encountered the artisan troop over this way. We're exploring over this way. We are in the middle of an archaeological site that has like a amber tinted cube with patterns. We're trying to figure out the puzzle. Shota Yoshida is the one working on it. We have started to locate probes that we sent out long ago. Sublight exploration probes. The first one we found had been modified. It was over here in the caravan system, and it tried to kill us. Our fleet took it out, took a little bit of damage. The second one we located over here in Minkalinen, it is being guarded by a void cloud, lesser cloud. It's hostile. Our starbase and our fleet are engaging it so that we can get over here and check out the probe. Now this is going to be a rough battle because its military power is a lot higher than mine, but I believe since it doesn't have armor and we have a lot of heavy missiles that do bonus against hull, we should be able to tear it up fairly well. It will do some damage to us, unfortunately. As a matter of fact, it looks like it already has damaged one of our ships. See if we can figure out which one. Yeah, it did a sixth of its damage already in that. And can we see our starbase? I'd like to see if our starbase has taken any damage. It has taken about 400 points damage. It's the one that had been primarily targeted by it. And it's bypassing shields and armor and going straight for hull. Void clouds use basically a form of disintegrator. The other 2 probes are over this way. We're going to need a science ship to get over there. This scientist is currently trying to level up so that she can come back. We have located all 6 of the precursor anomalies we're going to need to locate the Cybrex. We just need to research them. They're all high level. And one of them is blocking us from colonizing Barnard's star, the only colonizable planet we had found. We did locate another one. We're going to work on getting over this way to get it. We've encountered another species over this way. They have just claimed this system, so we will not get to this archaeological site. But we are going to attempt to cut them off this way so that they don't block our expansion out, at least this way. Other than that, we have not finished contact with them, and we have located all of the wet worlds, a tropical, an ocean, and a continental over here with primitives on it. We've located a savanna world, actually two of them, and we have located an alpine world. So we still need an Arctic, a tundra, an arid, and a desert to qualify for the follow-up quest to the Habitable World Survey. We only need 2 more planets to complete this survey. Anything else? We found some warriors text on a planet quite a while ago, but we haven't had time to translate it. We are still working on actual technological advances for our society. We're close to getting robots and gene clinics in about 2 years. We'll have fusion reactors this year so we can start upgrading our ships. Weapons, because they will have the surplus power. It'll in about about a year and a half, we should complete the discovery tree, which will give us an first ascension perk and 10% more research speed. It will also allow us, when we can form federations, to do the research collective. And I think that gets us all up to date. Let's check the situation log, the victory conditions. I think we are dropping. Yeah, because I think last time I checked we were 16. So now we're 19. So some of the other AI empires have exceeded us. And that's mainly because they probably have multiple colonies while we do not yet. But that is the progress to date. And we are about to watch the combat in progress here, dealing with this lesser entity, Void Cloud, that was guarding the probe. Quick run. We will have a pop in 6 months, and hopefully it will become a clerk. Actually, it can become food. I don't care. It's not showing our trade because I just loaded in, but we currently have 23 in trade, so we should have met our mandate for energy economics by the end of her term. We are undergoing our first election. Now this is the other complaint I have about democratic elections. The term goes for 10 years. So she was our president from 2200 January 1st to 2210 January 1st, and then it holds a 3-month election. At the end of the election, it swears in another president for 10 years. So the next election after this one will be held on April 1st in 2220. And then the next election after that will be July 1st in 2230. And you get election creep. Now what they should have done, and I did this with my mod, was shorten the term length from 120 months to 117 months. So it would hold the election in October. At the end of the election, it would change presidents. So your presidents actually had a full 10 years in office instead of 10 years and 3 months. Now, it looks like they're going to take Ignacio as our next president. He is the one commanding the UNS Aldrin. He just became my highest level guy. He has the highest support. His agenda is off-world mining. He wants us to build orbital mining stations. The governor here is warlike and has an edicts fund bonus, and he wants us to build research stations. And Shota is charismatic, that's an edict fund, and a reformer, Unity, wants us to also build research stations. Now I could influence this election. Now this isn't necessarily going to be her mandate. For some reason, when you have, because the current president is still in office, it shows their current mandate. It will change if she's reelected. Now, what I can do is I could spend 500 Unity to support her to have a higher chance that she remains in office. Right now, it's a crapshoot. 1 in 4 chance we're basically going to get any of these. And I think they're probably going to end up pulling one of my scientists, which annoys me. It annoys me on 2 regards. First off, I don't want to lose a high-level scientist to become president. Second off, when Dolores Mwanga is no longer president, she becomes a governor. I only have room for 1 governor to be employed right now, so I will have a second governor who has nothing to do and will gain no experience until I find another position for a governor. So I really hate that they used the scientist. I wish that they had just stayed with the governors, since the current president is a governor. If I spend those 500, that would delay me 20 months on getting it back. So instead of getting our last tradition in a year and a half, it would take 3 years for me to get my last tradition. And it won't guarantee that she becomes president again. But I am going to try that. I want Dolores Mwanga. She has led us well so far. I want her to remain president, so I am going to support her. And that jumps her up to having a 40% instead of a 24%, but I could still lose that election. It could still pull out one of my scientists. But we're going to give it a shot, even though that was a chunk of Unity to dump in there. And now it's going to take 3 years for me to get my next, my final tradition in the discovery tree. But I believe we have everything ready. So I am going to rejoin the combat already in progress. And let's make sure I'm on slow speed. There we go. Alright, one of our ships just warped out. If you saw that flash, that meant it did an emergency jump out so he didn't die. Our efforts to decipher the signals picked up from the changelings have paid off, and we have finally made a breakthrough. While our mastery of their language may not be complete, we have managed to successfully open diplomatic channels with the civilization we now know to be the Hazar Pact.
An alien nation is hailing us.
They are a war council, so they're oligarchic. They are hegemonic imperialist. Now, I don't like that. Hegemonic imperialists consider themselves the rightful rulers of the galaxy and will attempt to expand their empire by any means possible. Now, the War Council, the government, is a militaristic form of oligarchy, where all decisions concerning the state are taken by a council of the nation's strongest warlords. Now, this is one where I could see the election being held using admirals and generals. Alright, so they are fanatic militarists. The ability to project force is of paramount importance. The only way to preserve our way of life is to make sure everyone shares it, willingly or not. And they are materialists. As we reach for the stars, we must put away childish things, gods, spirits, and other phantasms of the brain. Reality is cruel and unforgiving. Yet we must steel ourselves and secure the survival of our race through the unflinching pursuit of science and technology. Warlord Oligator sends regards from the ruling council of the Hazar Pact. We hope for a productive relationship with your people, but be warned that our military will respond to any transgressions near our space with maximum force. I really don't like the wording on this. Love is friendship set to music, Hazari. That just seems silly. But I want to seek friendly relations with them. This one is got kind of a meh, neutral, we pursue true equality, don't stand in our way. I want to be friendly, but I think that's a stupid thing to say, but we're going to say it anyway. The news that we have encountered intelligent alien life for the first time is spreading like wildfire throughout the United Nations of Earth. Our citizens are fascinated by these beings, and the media is full of reports and speculation on their culture and society. The revelation that we are not alone in the galaxy has largely been greeted with celebration on Earth. Just like us, the aliens appear to be relatively newcomers on the galactic stage, and their level of technology is similar to our own. So we're going to go to the contacts and go to diplomacy. We are going to immediately start improving relations. We will send Divya Murthy to be our envoy with them. Now right now, they're not interested in any sort of things. Even though we have just neutral relations, they are very reticent because they were on a they have Alpine preference. So if I had raced through their territory, I would have found an Alpine world. They are belligerent, which started out with us not really having good chance of establishing an embassy. That should change in a short period of time with me improving relations. Now, back to the combat in progress. We've got it down to about half. We lost a ship. I'm not sure which one we lost, but we lost a ship. We have allowed you to move about freely in our territory for too long. Today we draw the line. Yeah, they're suspicious of us. They are attempting to harm relations. Alright, I am going to add all 3 of my envoys improving relations so that we counter them trying to harm relations. I can always pull one out later if I get another contact. Yeah, I think they want to go to war with us. But we are going to try and resist that. We've almost got it. Whew! We have dealt with the hostile subspace entity that our missing probe had attracted. Why such a creature would be drawn to an archaic, unmanned spacecraft is a mystery, but the probe appears to be largely undamaged. It has been recovered by our forces, and we have extracted detailed survey readings on the entire Minkalinen from its memory. Banks. I stumbled through that sentence. In addition, the residual energy left behind by the subspace anomaly has generated a large amount of valuable physics data for our scientists. So every planet in the system is surveyed. We'd already surveyed this system. But we get some physics research. Knocked off a month. We were really close to being done with that anyway. Alright. Let me progress this a day. We lost 1 Corvette. Let's go to our fleet manager. It was one of our missile boats. I'm not sure which one. I want you to return to Sol Station. And I could reinforce the fleet, but before I spend all of that reinforcing the fleet, I want to start claiming Breglar. Now I will have you reinforce the fleet. And that should replace the missing missile boat. So we have gotten another one of our probes. We just have 2 more to locate. And that was a rough battle. I kind of wish I had hired a general first, or an admiral first, but it's too late for that now. Now, one thing is the AI will tend to have a larger fleet than me, so they and it looks like they have already cut me off this way. So this is going to be the limit of my surveys right here. After I finish surveying this system, they've got their borders closed. This guy is going to have to come back. And when he comes back, I'm going to put him near these anomalies and switch with this scientist, who hopefully will gain another level by then. and she is going to start knocking out these high-level anomalies so that I can get that world and knock out some of these to start finding the Cybrex homeworld. All right, so they are about 9 months away from getting back to Earth. Yeah, we've definitely met her her mandate.
Anomalous readings registered.
Strange mountain formation. Efforts to map the surface of this planet have identified a strange mountain range in the southern hemisphere. It does not appear to have formed naturally. I believe we've seen this one before. Oh, we have another world there. We have an Alpine. Okay, good. We found an Alpine world. We'd already found an Alpine, hadn't we? Yes. Okay, so we didn't need to race through their systems looking for Alpines. We'd already found an Alpine. So this is just going to be for the Habitable World Survey. We still need an Arctic and a Tundra to finish the Frozen. Alright, I can put him back on evasive now that there's not a threat in that zone. Alright, he is coming to claim this system. We've got 6 more things to survey. We might finish it before he claims the system. But since he is on his way to claim that system, I mean, I'll gain a little bit of experience doing this, but I won't get the use out of it. And he's going to kick me out when he's done. I'm just going to give up on surveying that and go ahead and start sending this person back. So we are going to Barnard's Star. It's going to take us a year to get back there. And when we get back there, we're going to swap out with her. I'm hoping in the year she gains another level. I could make it a little longer and go for Nimiland first. Yeah, let's go ahead. That would be a little over a year and give her more time to gain some levels. And I could actually have him do that anomaly. And I'm not sure where I would send him next. Probably up this way, because it looks like we've got 2 distinct branches. This one might end up dipping into their system at some point, I'm not sure. Alright, President Dolores Moonga will rule until the next election, April 1st, 2022. 2220. Her mandate was successful. We re-elected her. Now her new mandate, energy infrastructure. Build 2 additional generator districts. That is not going to be a problem because I was planning on doing that anyway as I needed jobs. In 3 months, I will have one of these jobs filled up. There's no real rush on me pushing overbuilding right now, though. Now that it's been a few months, let's look at the contacts. Yeah, it is going up. Yeah, they still have huge negatives against us. But we are countering their ability to harm relations. We might be able to get them up high enough that this empire ceases to harm relations, or maybe even opens their borders. We will see. Almost done with that star base. And then Kahanis will be the next one I do. I might try and see if I get temporal decay, or I might just stop there and let them claim these 3. These 2 would be nice to get, but that just expands my border against them. I just want to get this one so that I can, because especially since they have just closed their borders to me, so I can guarantee I have that. I can find another black hole someplace else. There's 2 over here. So yeah, I just want to get Kahanis, and then I'm done expanding this way. I'll move that constructor probably down here and move this guy over there.
Knowledge is the key to the universe.
Nuclear fusion processes generate a great amount of power for ships, but without many of the risks associated with fission power. All right. We can get an improved reactor booster. We don't really need that right now. More physics from researchers, research station output, or the energy grid and capacity subsidies. Let's actually go for quantum theory because this will also unlock espionage and covert activity options. Wait a minute. Improved reactor booster is actually this person's field, but yeah, we're going to go for quantum theory. That'll take me 2 years. Gene clinics will take me 2 years. I'll have robot assembly plants in 9 months. Halfway through building that starbase. A third of the way through the observation post. And actually, since I've got the reactor boosters, I'm 1 day away from having this missile boat. Yeah, I'll let it be built since I'm so far along. Now, it is in nebulous transit when you are reinforcing a fleet that isn't near. It just keeps it out of the way so you don't have it like have to pass through an area and get blown up or aggro stuff. So he will be gone for like 8 months. In those 8 months, I will be back at Sol Station when it finally decides to arrive. I kind of wish they'd made the nebulous travel half the distance. Especially since I'm coming this way, it would be half the distance by the time he actually met up with me.
Construction completed.
Alright, build a mining station and then go to Kahinis. And that system will be mine next.
Construction completed.
It'll take you a year to get over there. I'll actually have you move here. It'll only take 4 months. Yeah, I love the nebula is in this game. The beauty it shows. Especially some of the color combinations they use. This one isn't too bad. So after we survey that system, we're going to go around this way trying to get to those probes. What was previously thought to be assorted mountains in the southern hemisphere of Sirius 10 have been identified as the massive skeletal remains of a single colossal alien life form. The bones have been dated as 3.4 billion years old, but our scientists have ruled out that Sirius 10 could have supported life on that scale at any point in the planet's history. Science officer Sir Montgomery Scott has prepared a special research project to delve further into this mystery.
Situation log has been updated.
All right. Research those projects. It should take 6 months. Yes. Most of the projects generated are 6 months. All right, now I believe would be a good time for me to build my additional star bases. I might build one up here on the border. I know I want one in Bernard's Star, but I might build one on the border to kind of slow them down. We shall see.
We have detected an anomaly.
Another sign of precursor. It's level 8. She found it way down here. It would take her 2 years to research. I'm going to leave that be for now. I only need 6 of these. I found all 6 in my territory, but I could do more level 8s and ignore some of the level 10s. That would take 2 years for her to research if I did it right now. How much more you got in this system? I'll let her finish the system and see how far along she is. I might come back and hit this level 8 before I head up that way.
Construction completed.
Alright, I need 8 more months to be able to have the influence to build this last starbase. Unless I get a boost of influence before then. I think I am going to go ahead and upgrade Bernard's star. It'll take a year.
Anomalous readings registered.
Sensors are reporting a number of possible points of interest within the dense debris field surrounding H-77-Y71. One more month and that ship reinforcement will be back. There it is. Now, let's go to Ship Designer. The only thing it really did to these fleets was add the fusion reactor. Now that may not necessarily be worth upgrading the ships over. It does give it sufficient surplus power that I get a little bit more evasion, speed, and damage. Very small, and it is a very small increase in, it's only 3 extra alloys. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and upgrade all these designs. It'll take a little bit of alloys and a little bit of time before
System
I start
survey concluded.
reinforcing more. Alright, which way do I want to go? That goes into the nebula, that goes into the nebula. They might actually end up meeting up. Let's go checking this way first. That way it'll get us to a both ways will get us to a black hole, honestly. But we will send this ship this way.
The special project has concluded.
Our continued studies of the massive skeletal remains on Xeris-10 have managed to shed some light on how the creature ended up on the planet. There are very faint residual energy readings that indicate some kind of dimensional portal existed briefly toward the rear of the skeleton. Science Officer Sir Montgomery Scott theorizes that the creature passed through this gateway from another dimension, only to quickly perish in the hostile environment of Xeris-10. Why it did this and where it came from are questions that may never be answered. He gains experience and a chunk of physics research. He gained a level. He's now level 4. Alright, so now, I forgot to go over this, now that I've got my first observation post. Now the events for observation posts tend to be a little rare, but I'm on passive observation. That just gives me 8 society research. You can do aggressive observation, which tends to have more events. It does more society research. Indoctrination allows you to switch them to your ethics. These guys already kind of match my ethics. Enlightenment will, depending on what age they're in, will bring them up, but it'll seed the system to them. And covert infiltration, when you get gene tailoring, you can just go in and convert them directly to a planet that you control and give them a temporary happiness boost. Basically, you integrate them directly into your empire without turning them into a computer-controlled empire first. And that's what I like to do, because I generally don't like to give up the system. This system I wouldn't mind giving up, but if they get enlightened, it's going to happen through events. Right now they're in the steam age. They would have to advance on their own. Though when they get to atomic age, they have a risk of having a galactic war, a planetary war that destroys the civilization. Since this is a civilization that matches my ethics, if they get to atomic age, I might enlighten them just to save them from themselves. As much as I would like to remain with the Prime Directive, This is a species I would really like to get in my empire. So yeah, that is one thing. It depends on events that happen, but for them to get to atomic age, it's going to take hundreds of years before I have to worry about that. Because it's at least 50 years between them advancing in different ages.
Research concluded.
These robotic work units are perfect for menial labor tasks. They are hardworking and capable of following simple vocal instructions, but should not be expected to climb stairs. Oh, robo-modding right off the bat. I like to get that one. All of these are really good. I would like to faster planetary build, but I'd like to get the robo-modding pretty early because I do like specializing my robots. Let's see, that would take 41 months. That would take 31. That would take 2 years. All of these are really good, actually. The Corvette build cost and build speed would make me able to reinforce this fleet a little cheaper. Planetary build speed will cut a lot of time off of me establishing a colony. Machine template system, of course, gives me the ability to create custom robot designs. I have to build the first robot first, though. But I am going to go with the machine template systems first because I do like my modified robots. We'll do that. It'll take 3.5 years. Unless I get some nice boost before then. Now I could replace this with a robot assembly plant. But I think a better option is to go ahead and build another city district, give me another building slot, and then add the robo factory. Are they insulting us? No, they're declaring rights. Let us end this charade. Well, you know what? That's really going to harm our relations. I'm going to declare rivalry right back. That will give me half a point of influence extra per month. And I'm going to switch one of my people who's improving relations over to start a spy network. Let's switch Soda Fujita. He is going to be my spy master. And we are going to start building up espionage on this group. Now that does mean they are most likely going to want to declare war on me pretty soon. Alright, so we need 3 more months. That will almost give me the alloys I need. And our factions are starting to appear. A new faction has recently been gaining traction in the internal political landscape of the United Nations of Earth. Led by scientist Ignacio Esguerra, they call themselves the Electoral Freedom Society. Their members work for equality and justice for all denizens of our empire. A disgruntled faction will be a source of trouble, but one that approves of the government's actions could prove useful. And led by Governor Leonid Komarov, we have the Alien Suffrage Foundation. Their members have been pushing hard for friendly relations with alien species. Alright, so if we go to factions, the Alien Suffrage Foundation is a Xenoist faction. Xenoist factions desire for greater value to be put on alien life and culture. They like diverse populations and interacting with other species. They dislike species-wide slavery and purchase. So we have half of the population in this, but you see they've already got a higher approval rating. It is real easy to get the Xenoist faction to 100%. You don't even have to do everything they want. We're going to incorporate some enclaves. I can ignore the recent enlightenment, and I can switch to a benevolent subjugation policy. I don't have subjects. It doesn't matter to me. Now, the Electoral Freedom Society, progressive faction. They desire non-discrimination within existing social structures and dislike non-representative forms of government. Now, these guys are hard to keep happy. I think the best approval rating you can get with them is about 80 to 85%, unless they have added in more issues that will pop up with Overlord. That's the best you can do. But you only need to get to 80% to get the maximum happiness value, I believe. So these guys also want a benevolent subjugation policy. Our subjects look to us for guidance and protection, and we should strive to repay their trust by respecting their liberties. Adopting a benevolent approach to subjugation will please the Electoral Freedom Society. Over here, taking care of our subjects and helping them grow will please the Alien Suffrage Foundation. Well, I don't have subjects, but I'll change my policy anyway to make these happy. Subjugation war terms. Going from balanced to benevolent, all it does is switch from restricted voting to independent diplomacy, and from expansion regulated to expansion permitted. So we'll do that. Our subjects are as much a part of us as we are of them. Their success is our victory, and we shall move forward as one. Now if I go to factions, I've gotten them to 80%, so they get the full plus 10 happiness. They're 95. And there's still more things I can do to keep them happy. But I actually, since it's easier to get these guys to 100, and the amount of unity you get on a faction is based on the size and the approval rating. You will never get full unity value out of a progressive faction because you can never get it to 100. But you can easily get this to 100. So I want this to be the most populous faction in my empire. I'll get more unity that way. So we are going to promote this faction because we already have things pulling people to it. So we are promoting it by the government. Alien appreciation is our encounter with a particularly attractive alien species causes a surge in volunteers for our interstellar exploration department. And long before we took to the stars, an unknown spacefarer visited our home planet and took an apparent liking to our culture. They left evidence of their visit there for us to find when the time was right, restoring lost works to us and reaffirming our confidence in ourselves as we look to the future. So all of these are boosting Xenophile Ethics Attraction. So hopefully I can get more people in that than any other faction. You're dedicating time and effort to supporting the development of new art, and the Empire has gotten instructions for how and what they should study. But yeah, so because we're boosting that faction, right now it's about half the size of this one. Hopefully by next election it'll be really close, because I would rather the governor be our next president than the scientist, because now that we have factions, the faction representatives tend to be the ones that are more supported. Right now it doesn't have the faction support. If I let it progress a day, boom. The person in the Electoral Freedom Society is our most likely candidate for next president. And then the other one is the alien suffrage. And then everybody else falls behind that. So I would like to have the alien suffrage so that the governor is the de facto, is the prime candidate for presidency. All right, I'm going to go ahead and buy 25 more alloys so that I will have everything I need when I get the influence to go ahead and start getting Kahanis. We have discovered the fossilized remains of a gargantuan gastropod, matching no previously encountered life form, trapped within a huge block of ice circling H-77-Y71. Its eyes glare fiercely ahead, tentacles reared and muzzle twisted into a gruesome grimace, as if locked in a silent shout. The creature displays no apparent signs of sapience. Unfortunately, we currently lack the technology to bring it back to life. We can space this abomination, we can put it in a museum, or we can extract and store a DNA sample for future use. Both of these options would kind of fit. I'm going to go with the DNA sample. We are curious scientists, and we will probably end up making the same mistake they made in Jurassic Park by reanimating the thing, but you never know. We've made first contact with mysterious aliens in Chor's Compass. For now, we have codenamed them Ogres. Until we can find out more about them? Yeah. Well, interesting thing, the name of the system already tells me who this is. This is Chor's Compass. This is where... Oh look, they got a billboard over there. This is where the Caravaneers' home base is. This is the Caravaneers system. So I do know this is going to be the Caravaneers. Crap. Alright, let's go ahead and put Julian Sullivan over here. That's one less person raising relations, but we'll have to deal with it. Our relations are pretty shitty anyway, and they're going to keep dropping. We can't counterbalance their effort to lower relations. Oh, they stopped harming. Okay, so maybe we can get it pushed up eventually. But there's not really much point, I think, to surveying Chor's Compass. I will get experience out of it, so yeah, screw it. Go ahead and start surveying it.
Ship upgrades applied.
Alright, our fleet is fully upgraded. One more month, and we could build this starbase. Oh, no, it'd be more than 1 month. Oh, we lost some alloys to the upgrades.
Anomalous readings registered.
Impressive structures litter a small area on the surface of this planet, practically begging for some archaeological work. Uyescapus? I don't know how to pronounce that. We'll research it anyway. The structures on this planet are not as old as we first believed. It seems to be a playground or amusement park of some sort. Science Officer Ariana Marino notes that many of the contraptions are highly complex creations that we can learn much from, and that, to the builder's alien eyes, this might have been a cutting-edge sensor array, or even a gigantic art installation. Regardless, to us humans, it looks mostly like a place where you would take your young and let them amuse themselves. That's a chunk of society and engineering. I didn't really see a drop, so it must have just stored the research to dole out later. Right, the trade wind has made it here. It would take him only 100 days to knock this out. So yeah, we'll have him research that anomaly. The Chor's Compass system appears to be home to an advanced society of unknown origins. Dwelling in a series of space stations across the system, Envoy Julianne Sullivan has observed multiple crafts flitting between them, as well as several larger expeditions leaving the system for unknown purposes. They seem to be broadcasting repetitive but not particularly content-filled signals in our general direction, a development which has confused our linguists but may help them to translate their language. Now, I don't think I've ever encountered Chor's Compass before I've encountered one of the actual Caravaneers. So this is, I think, the first time I've seen the Chor's Compass dialogue. Alright. Faith in science. The public has come to regard science as something almost akin to a religion. Their faith in it is absolute. There is no question in this universe so big that it cannot be answered by science. Now this reduces the upkeep of our researchers. I'm not impressed with that. But it will also complete the discovery tree, giving us research speed and a perk. And for this perk, we could boost our leader experience gain to get the levels up we need to handle these high-level anomalies faster. It'll also boost our leader level cap, which isn't really that special. Let's see. Our society must change its approach toward learning, and by doing so, our best and brightest will be able to reach a completely new level of achievements. Yeah, you know what? I think I am going to pick this one. That will help me. It's not the best ascension perk. Honestly, it's not one you should normally pick. But like I said, I pick mine based on theme and what I need. And a boost to experience gain, I'm now effectively doubling my experience. So hopefully, and she can get all the way up to level 10 now, hopefully I can level up fairly quickly with her so that she can handle these level 8s and 10s very well. I mean, one more level and I will probably be pretty good at this. Let's see, that one. Where is she? Yeah, it's under 2 years. I would probably not... Let's look at that again. It's adding 960. If I knocked one off of that, it would probably knock it down to 600. So it would knock a year off of it. Yeah. Well, actually, it would end up knocking about 288 days off of it. So it would knock about 10 months off of it. Still would probably get it around to a year if I could gain another level. Oh, yes. Now, researcher upkeep is one of the things. Reduction does not impress me, and I'll explain why. Our researchers, their upkeep is in consumer goods. 2 consumer goods per researcher. Well, a 20% reduction is 0.4 per researcher. Let's say I had 20 researchers on this planet, and I'm removing 0.4 per researcher. That would be 8 consumer goods less I have to spend for 20 researchers. Consumer goods are produced by our artisans. How much do my artisans produce? Almost 10. So 20% reduction in the upkeep of my researchers for 20 researchers saves 1 artisan. And how much does it cost them to produce these consumer goods? Their upkeep is in minerals. 6 minerals are being turned into almost 10 of these. So saving me 8 consumer goods for 20 researchers is saving me about 5 minerals for 20 researchers. Now, the problem I have with that is when it comes to colony designations, their idea for the tech world for supporting researchers was 20% reduction in researcher upkeep. Okay, you're saving me the equivalent of 5 minerals if I had 20 researchers on that planet. If I also have 10 miners on that planet, I'd be better off running this as a mining world because it would boost each miner by 1 mineral per miner. That would be plus 10 minerals. So the colony designations, the way they handled some of them are real disappointing to me, and I can't really show you here until I get another colony. I'll go into detail with that when I finally am able to colonize a world. But yeah, needless to say, I find reduction to researcher upkeep a little pointless. Consumer goods aren't that big of a deal.
System survey concluded.
Alright, we finished Chores Compass and moving on.
Construction completed.
Alright, build that mining station and then come around to Sirius. So we can start pushing to get to Banus and get the ocean world colonized. Oh, we finally surveyed this alpine world. It has unstable tectonics, good engineering research place. It also has Dust caverns and crystalline caverns. Nice.
System survey concluded.
We are so close to a level. You know what? Let's pop our heads in here. This may be a mistake, but let's pop our heads in there first. Maybe we'll get our level and can knock that anomaly out on the way back. Oh, he finished that and I didn't give him other orders. Alright, go research that anomaly. And then I'll send you over to Gossick first. We're going to enter orbit of that. When you get there, I will probably swap out for her and have her research that. Oh, wait, what the hell am I thinking? Screw that. I am going to immediately move you there. You're going to go to Bernard Star and enter orbit there. Because what I need you to do is wait until she gains a level and let her knock out that damn level 8 so I can colonize Bernard Star. Alright, let's reinforce this fleet one.
Construction completed.
Bernard Star has finished its construction queue. That is not Bernard Star, you moron. That is Bernard Star. Alright, so we're going to need to build up our fleet size. So I'm going to make Bernard Star an
Construction
anchorage.
completed.
And next month I should be able to get started on the first anchorage. There we go. It'll take 6 months. That'll end up boosting our naval capacity so we can start building a second fleet. Massanisa's demise. We apologize, Patron Dolores Mwanga. We have sadly reached something of a creative roadblock. The Enclave is in disarray, and we have nothing to offer at this time. We thank you for your patronage as always. Okay, we can hope the situation improves or demand a refund. I'm just going to hope the situation improves. That gives us a little bit more reputation with them.
System survey concluded.
Alright, we didn't get our level out of that. But I'm going to go ahead and swap her out. For him. She needs 30 experience. I'm actually going to send her over here to research that anomaly and then come back and research this one. Now she'll knock that one out in about, this will take a little bit of time with the travel and the anomaly. It's going to take her 5 months to get over there, 4 months to research it, 5 months to get back. So that's a little over a year, but then she should be able to knock this one out fairly quickly. Right now it would take her 2 years, and she should be able to knock, well, she'd only end up knocking like a year off of it, so I might as well spend the 2 years right now. If I'm going to have her moving around like that waiting 2 years, I might as well do it now. Oh, there's a tundra world. So now we just need an Arctic. Oh, I know how to get her level. Never mind. Okay. Change of plans. Enter orbit. He is in the middle of surveying something. You are 12 days away from something. Let's just put her in this ship real quick. 1 or 2 surveys should be able to get her level. 1 more survey and she's got her level. Now she's 8 days away. Yes, I'll let her go ahead and survey what she's about to survey.
Knowledge is the key to the universe.
The colonization of alien worlds has opened up an entirely new field of biomedical research. Well, we haven't actually colonized any new worlds, thank you very much. Edict Fund would be very useful. Do we have a statecraft, or is a biologist or new worlds? Fine, we'll go for biodiversity studies. It should take a 1.5 years. The Edict Fund would take 2 years, but yeah, let's go ahead and start boosting our research a little. Or, actually, no. This leads to espionage and covert. Let's go ahead and get the adaptive bureaucracy. That'll give me more edicts, and I need the Edict Fund to run more edicts right now.
Anomalous readings registered.
Through our surveys of habitable worlds, our biologists have collected a vast amount of data on alien life forms. Many of our older theories on development of life have been disproved, and our scientific community has had to build new models from scratch. Our most interesting findings are being displayed at the newly dedicated Museum of Exobiology on Earth. The public is enthralled, and many donations have come in to aid in the continued search of strange new life forms. That's a huge chunk of society research. Alright, she gained a level, and we have an anomaly there. Scanners indicate an unusually high level of symmetry on the surface of Panel 3. Well, we're going to put Ignacio back in here. And he is going to research that symmetry. Over in this empty ship, we are now going to put our newly leveled scientist, and she is going to research that anomaly, and it'll take a 1.5 years. So yeah, in a 1.5 years, I should be able to colonize that world. So this ship is going to head that way. It'll take them 6 months. 7 months. Well, I could wait a year to send it that way and it'll still be there. I can screw it. We're wasteful. I don't care if I'm not getting the energy reduction for it being docked with the damn spaceport. We're sending it now. He is still working on this breakthrough, but he's getting close. Alright, hopefully she gains a chunk of experience doing that level 8. Because I'm going to have her knock out the other level 8s. And then work on the level 10s. Alright, one thing I can do at this point is I can go to my policies. Now, diplomatic stance of expansionist causes a huge amount of border friction. And all it does is reduce the alloys of building outposts and improve my colony development speed a little bit. We're going to go ahead and switch to cooperative. We have a bonus to improving relations. We get more diplomatic weight, and it drastically cuts down our border friction. But it does make our operations more costly. But we're going to do that. That will help relations with this empire. It will knock a chunk out of it because of our border friction being modified. We have managed to decipher the confusing, repetitive messages the ogres were sending us, and it turns out that they were commercial advertisements. It appears that Chor's compass system is the home system to a group of spacefaring traders that call themselves the Caravansary Caravan Coalition. They apparently make a living by offering the best deals, or what they claim to be the best deals, to whichever civilization they happen to be visiting at the time. Greetings from the Vingralian Trium, certified caravaneer traders of the Triple C. We teach Xenos how to earn a substantial income working from home, but you seem to be doing well for yourself already. Whenever we enter your territory, we will offer you exclusive deals. Unfortunately, our ships are all outside your territory for the moment, but we look forward to doing business in the future. In the meantime, do not hesitate to contact us, but be aware that incoming calls will be routed to the Caravanserai Caravan Coalition. So yeah, the ogres were actually, I don't see them anymore, but it was actually one of the Vingrium Trium was the one in that system at the time. That's who we actually ended up in contact with. Now we can move that person back to improving relations over here, just to boost it faster. And we're slowly getting our intel up. In studying the surface of Poniel 3, the crew of the UNS Aldrin discovered the ruins of an early space-age civilization. Though no living members of the civilization remain, the planet is still inhabited by the rudimentary robots they constructed. These robots still go about their tasks, tirelessly repairing the crumbling infrastructure of their long-dead makers. Any future colonists may be able to make use of this ancient robotic workforce. If nothing else, they've certainly proved themselves resilient. I don't think I've seen that one before. Rudimentary robots. There are ancient robots still functioning on this planet, left behind when the civilization that created them perished. Dust caverns, metal boneyards, society research, city ruins and industrial wastelands. Awesome mining planet. Pity it's a tundra world. Cold and rocky world with a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere. Permafrost covers most of the surface, except for the more temperate equatorial regions. A stable biosphere exists, but vegetation is mostly limited to mosses and lichens. And over here, I didn't read the description of the Alpine world, I don't think. Mountainous world with a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere. Snow covers the mountaintops and frozen over lakes dot the valleys. While the planet experiences minimal seasonal variation, the still liquid water beneath the frozen surface of the lakes is enough to sustain some hardy vegetation. Alright, so let's go ahead and claim that one, since it'll be a while before he gets in position, be another 5 months.
Research concluded.
Exploring the mediation of fundamental forces through subatomic particles. Okay. We could upgrade our lasers. We only have those on the pickets and the interceptors. We could get more energy credits. I wouldn't mind a bigger boost to energy credits, honestly. Automated exploration protocols will remove one of the things from the list and boost our survey speed. Let's see, that would take 2.5 years. This would take 3 years. That would take 2 years. That would take a little over 2 years. This is my specialty. Bending fundamental forces to our will and the science of applied algorithms. Okay, we're going to do field modulation because the boost of energy credits is really going to be helpful to me. So that'll give us all of our techs in about 2 years. Ah yes, we need to get started on a robotic assembly plant here on Earth. It'll take a year. It'll probably pull up a clerk. That's fine. But then we will start being able to assemble robots. Alright, let's go ahead and buy... Screw it. Let's buy 125. That's going to cost me quite a bit, but screw it. We're wasteful. We'll do it. So that I can get Barnard Star, another Anchorage, and reinforce First Fleet with another ship. Now that we have enough to have a second fleet, I'm going to go into Fleet Manager and create a new fleet. This one we would put 12 interceptors and 8 missile boats in. Actually, let's go back to that fleet design. Let's remove the interceptors first. I wanted to get the missile boats before it starts building the interceptors, because initially we're only going to have 8 extra capacity. I want to fill out those before I plan for the interceptors.
Anomalous readings registered.
A small and otherwise insignificant moon orbiting this gas giant appears to be on a trajectory that will soon result in a collision with its primary. Oh. We have a tropical world. That's another system world type I can colonize. So we have the ocean, we have a tropical here, and another tropical. Well, if we expand this way, we should be able to get some colonies going. Alright, we really need to boost our alloy production. I got more fleets I want to build. I can support 2 more star bases. And I need to keep expanding with outposts. So I need more alloy production. We still haven't made this breakthrough. Well, we found another archaeological site way down here. Hole in the ground. I'll worry about reading these if I actually get them in my empire. Alright, so checking the situation log. This empire is just a little bit above me. They probably don't have but 1 colony at this point. Or at least not more than one developed colony. Well, she's over halfway done. Go ahead and reinforce this fleet again. We're going to get that fleet up to full strength. One of the many moons circling Ponel 4 has a terminal orbit. It will soon collide with the gas giant in what is sure to become a massive impact event. This event has been millions of years in the making, and it is a startling coincidence that the impact has been fated to occur just after a visit by one of our ships. Many of our scientists wish to observe and record this event, but we only have a narrow window before it's too late.
Situation log has been updated.
We have 3 years to observe this event. We're going to go ahead and observe it now. It will take 6 months before it happens.
Construction completed.
Alright, we're going to move over to the Obatellis system. Get that enclave in our empire.
Construction completed.
A lot of asteroids.
Anomalous readings registered.
The conditions on Sugela 2 are ideal for life, at least on the microbial level, and maybe beyond. Sugalia. Alright, this has an isolated valley and a bubbling swamp. Now the isolated valley is a little disappointing. An alien zoo is not really much different than a holotheater, except that an alien zoo cannot be upgraded, where a holotheater can to support more entertainers. The only real difference is an alien zoo is cheaper to build. That's it. They take the same amount of time to build. Alien zoo is just cheap, so it's, and you have to research a specific tech to get it. So it's a little disappointing that it wasn't more effective. I kind of wish it was equivalent to a upgraded holotheater without the strategic material costs. That would make it worthwhile. Oh, what size was that? 23. It's more of a breadbasket than anything else. That means I could switch Earth entirely to generator district and move my food over here. This is a very large world. I could fit a lot of industry on it. So yeah, I definitely want to get all the way up to there. After you do that, we'll keep going this way. You still haven't made a breakthrough? Come on! The dense tropical foliage of Sugalia 2 hides what Science Officer Sir Montgomery Scott of the UNS Azophi calls a proto-civilization. The beings that make up this proto-civilization are still too far behind the evolutionary curve to even be called primitive, but their social order seems to be underpinned by the beginnings of intelligible language and abstract thought. Science Officer Sir Montgomery Scott suggests that these particular creatures may be a suitable testbed for technologies intended to induce rapid evolution. So we have some pre-sapients, molluscoids. They are irradiated. So they have a tomb world habitability and leader lifespan. This species has evolved to thrive in environments subject to extreme high levels of background radiation. Definitely want to get this planet. So 1, 2, 3, 4 systems I need to push this direction. Alright, let's go ahead and build another generator district here. We can relocate some clerks over to technician. Actually, now I don't want to risk moving a farmer yet because one farmer is about all the surplus we're getting. So yeah, we'll move some clerks over to make sure we're really generating some energy credits. Almost done with that level 8 anomaly. See how much experience she gets out of it. She's at 30. We'll remember that. Alright, we fully excavated this site. The pattern on the puzzle box turned out to be visual abstractions of various forces described in physics. After that revelation, solving the puzzle box was a simple matter. Moments after unlocking the combination of tactile inputs required, the puzzle box disintegrated into flickering motes of incandescent dust. The event was fairly anticlimactic until moments later, the whole chamber started to rumble, and a hidden wall panel moved aside to reveal what could be best described as an ancient alien library of highly advanced theoretical physics. The science division will be kept busy with this find for years. So that gave us access to quantum energy states. Anytime you get a research option gained, the good thing about that is if it's something you don't want to research, it's pulled out of the actual list. Interesting. That's the level 3 version, so we skipped needing field modulation actually and went straight to having quantum energy states available. But it pulls it out of the list, so if you get it through like stealing technology from an enemy and it's a tech you really don't care about, that means it has removed it from your choices at least. Alright, that was good. We finished that, so he's doing this anomaly now. It shouldn't take him too long. And then he is headed to excavate the message in a bottle. We have found the wreckage of an archaic spacecraft of unusual design. Instead of using propulsion similar to that of modern ships, the craft relied on large sails unfurled in the vacuum of space. Presumably, the ship harvested solar energy and drifted on the solar winds created by starlight. Our archaeologists are eager to uncover the secrets concealed within this spacecraft.
The special project has concluded.
We were successful in our attempt to record the collision between Ponel 4 and its moon. The event was captured from several different angles and transmitted live throughout our space. Most importantly, our scientists under the leadership of Ignacio Esguerra were able to record a large amount of valuable physics data that will surely benefit our research. We gained 300 experience too. That knocked a year off of this tech, and he gained a new trait. He is an archaeologist. You know? Huh. He's an archaeologist and has a higher anomaly discovery chance. I think when this ship actually gets over to the archaeological dig site, I'll swap out for the archaeologist so it goes faster. But I'll go ahead and let this guy do this anomaly while this guy does some more surveys to get more anomalies. Oh, this is a dead end. Yeah, that is the end of the road there. So then after that, we'll be going back out this way anyway. Barnard Star 3 shows signs of having once been a heavily developed Cybrex world. With their typical efficiency, the machines have thoroughly strip-mined the planet, and ruins from massive factory complexes can be found in both hemispheres. Curiously, a large rectangular area near the equator appears to have been left largely untouched.
Situation log has been updated.
Did that change the planet? It's still got decent mining districts. Alright, so this will take 6 months. And she gained 100 experience from that level 8 anomaly. So yeah, unless she gains a huge chunk from this 6 months, she's not going to be gaining a lot of experience getting these anomalies. She'll be level 4 for most of these. Alright, after you finish that, it would take 930 days for her to do it, almost 3 years to get a level 10. The level 7s would take her almost 2 years. Well, a year and 100 days. So a year and 4 months. She could use a little bit more experience. One more level would make it awesome. Oh, let's see if I can go ahead and colonize the planet now, shall we? Yes. We can colonize this planet as Storm.
Colony establishment has begun.
Now this dialogue is different depending on what the first type of world you colonize is. Our colony ship has found a rare patch of open ground in the jungles of Storm and made planetfall. The landing site is surrounded on all sides by lush vegetation, and sentry drones have been deployed to guard against predators. The ship has been permanently converted into the administrative headquarters of the new settlement, and its reactor core is in the process of being removed so that it may serve as the colony's temporary power source. Hundreds of small tents and prefab shelters have sprung up around the former starship's massive hull as colonists begin to disembark in large numbers, the first human city on an alien world. Alright, now, these establishing colonies will take about 2.5 years, well, actually almost 3 years to develop. During this time, there's not much you can do, but if you have the technology, you can be clearing blockers during this period. So I've got 3 years where if I had the technology, I could have these gone before I get done with the planet. So there's a couple of dense jungle and a lot. Oh, we got some tempestuous mountains, mineral fields, prosperous mesa. Now basically you have 3 types of them. The hot springs generate 1 district, the The rushing waterfalls generate 2. The mountains generate 3. You have the same for these. We have a 1 and a 2. And we have a 1 and a 2 for the agriculture. We don't have any of the 3 minerals or any of the 3 agriculture. But yeah, I like the different features they make because they are a little different from planet to planet. I think the wet planets, the frozen planets, and the dry planets all have different types of features. Alright, so she is at 130. Let's see how much she gets for the special project.
Construction completed.
Build your mining stations and then move here. The latest sensory readings from Alpha Centauri A showed the star pulsing regularly. But when the crew on the UNS Kelvin arrived on site, there was no evidence to support this data. While most of the crew are in agreement that the anomaly was caused by a sensory malfunction, Science Officer Shota Yoshida discards this theory. Shota Yoshida claims to have discovered similar pulsating energy emission patterns elsewhere, and now fears that something strange is happening to the galaxy's stars. They have charted the course to the nearest affected star. Now this is a risky one. It has an outcome where you can actually lose the scientist. You can avoid that if you just say it's a malfunction and go on with it, but you do get quite a bit out of it, and we are science driven. Shota has been a good scientist. It did take him a while to figure out that Rubik's Cube, but he solved it. So we're going to trust him. We must get to the bottom of this.
Situation log has been updated.
Alright, where did it add it? In the LIMSA system. So before you go to excavate that, we are going to have you go over here and research the projects. You're the one who says there's something wrong with it. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Now you can switch scientists if you don't want to risk losing a really good one. Keep pushing up my fleet. It'll get me more influence per turn and help dissuade these guys from thinking I'm easy prey.
We have detected an anomaly.
Atmospheric readings from Sugalia 5A do not match simulated projections. Well, figure out what's wrong with them. Blorgsbane. Only one thing in that system. Alright, time for our next tradition. So, when I encounter enough, I usually go with diplomacy. Right now I've only encountered one person. I'm not sure it's worth jumping to diplomacy right now. Expansion might be a good one. That'll speed up my colony development speed, and I could get colonization fever and get a new pop with every colony. Since I'm about to get 3 more, and I could also get this one and cut down on how much influence I need to expand. So yeah, since I'm trying to push to get 3 more colonies in my system, we're going for expansion. We must expand our civilization to new systems and planets or risk eventual extinction. Starting this will give me colony development speed. Right now it's taking, it'll be 2216, April of 2216 to get that colony. Adopting all of these increases the number of districts on the planet by 1. Yeah, that dropped 6 months off of how long it's going to be for the colony. So we'll actually get it in 2215 October instead of 2216 April. But yeah, improving the number of districts would be really good because Earth is just about at its cap of districts. I can only get 1 more right now. So I'm building a generator district. If I make the other one a generator district, I could eventually shift the agriculture over and have all generator districts, and eventually shift these 3 over and have 6 industrial districts. But But I do need to queue up another generator district. Now, I don't really need to overbuild so much here, but I'm going to, because that is our energy infrastructure is our mandate. So we'll go ahead and get the generator districts built. The population will come. We are wasteful. I don't mind paying maintenance for districts I'm not using.
The special project has concluded.
Alright, that was... Oh yeah, she gained 200 experience for that. In a surprising departure from their previous behavior, the Cybrex seem to have established a large reservation on Storm, where sapient organics were allowed to live completely undisturbed. Although they were closely monitored, the Cybrex left the inhabitants to develop on their own, even when a destructive civil war between the organics left the reservation largely depopulated. After several centuries, the Cybrex suddenly abandoned the planet, and the reservation's remaining population gradually died out. Gives me some physics research. Must have been stored. Yeah, it really didn't do anything to the planet. Alright, so we're going to send her... I really would like more experience, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and send her to Gosek to research that anomaly. It's going to take her 7 months to get over there. Actually, wait a minute. Cancel that. We can get her experience and have somebody else do the travel time. So, we're going to put her over here back to this surveying. And this ship is going to move over here. And we'll let Ives be the one in it until it gets there, just to have him piloting it, I guess. Or better yet, what we could do let's put her in this ship. Let's put Ignacio in this ship and just go ahead and have him do my excavation. And this ship that is going to investigate that will eventually be the one I swap out for her. We'll go ahead and put Ives back over here and let him do this. Yeah, he's level 5. How long would it take him to do a 10? 900 days? How long would it take him to do a 450? He's pretty close to what she can do. If she gains another level, it will be more impressive. But he will be a lot faster at doing the archaeological digs. So we're actually just going to tell you, research those projects, and then we'll have another plan for you afterwards. Immense ragged plains of shadow drift across Sugalia 5A's face. They are cast not by clouds, but by sheets of organic material drifting through the upper layers of the atmosphere, hinged, or rather jointed, to allow for a small degree of articulation. Science Officer Sir Montgomery Scott is as yet unwilling to say whether these things are flora or fauna, or what possible purpose, if any, their elaborate shadow casting might serve. The UNS LaGrange has picked up a signal from a discarded signal buoy belonging to one of our missing sublight probes in the Romanox system. There is an ion trail leading away from the buoy on a trajectory towards another star, suggesting that someone has towed the probe there for unknown reasons.
Situation log has been updated.
Alright, so the probe has been towed. Oh, I guess I do have to search this system. Because this is where the towed, where I get the thing. Maybe it'll
Construction
update a little
completed. Research concluded.
The progress we make calls for a new, nimbler form of administration that may aid rather than hinder us in our pursuits. Well, we can go ahead and get started on the tile blockers. I actually do have a new world sky. So we will move our biologist over there to get some experience. Take about 2 years. That would only take about a year to knock out the text. I want to get the tile blockers first. The text is still not critical. We do have 30 more points we can use. I think I'm going to fire up Fortify the Border. Fortify the Border. Or no, I'm going to fire up Encourage Political Thought. This edict encouraged the populace to openly discuss political matters, even if the path may lead them astray. This increases the chance that they will shift ethics, so it is going to help the Alien Suffrage Foundation gain in traction. Now you see they're already at 100% approval, plus 10 to the happiness, same as being at 80% approval. And I still have things I haven't done. I haven't incorporated enclaves, I haven't enlightened, I haven't done federations. So I don't have to satisfy them completely to have 100% approval and get the full unity from this faction. Because the population size times the approval gives you the faction. Basically it takes the amount of your empire, basically 36%, multiplies that by the approval, and that is what your value is going to be. This one I will never get 100% from because they've got nothing else right now that I can satisfy them with. That's about as good as I'm ever going to get them, so I'll always be getting 15% less unity than I could from this faction. Because this faction is about half this size, and it's not quite half in the number. It's about this one's just about 50% more instead of double. So I want the Alien Suffrage Foundation to be my most populous faction, so I get more unity because I'm getting the full unity from them. We have detected what appears to be a naturally occurring subspace phenomenon on the edge of the Stellaris system. A rift in the very fabric of space-time has formed here, creating a wormhole that our scientists speculate may provide a conduit through subspace to another wormhole located somewhere else in our galaxy. Depending on where the second wormhole is located, this could potentially allow ships to travel from one end of the galaxy to the other in a matter of days. Unfortunately, this wormhole, like the vast majority of its kind, is inherently unstable. Any vessels foolish enough to pass through it would be ripped apart in seconds. So now that we've gotten the pop-up for the wormhole, we now can qualify to get the wormhole stabilization technology to show up. 2 more weeks to finish the pulsating
Research
stars.
concluded.
Rewritable assembly templates allow for the creation of bespoke synthetic worker designs. Alright, let's go for afterburners. We now have the energy to put those on our ships. Do I have a propulsion expert? No, I only have a materials specialist. Nothing's materials, so yeah, we're going to go for afterburners.
The special project has concluded.
The crew of the UNS Kelvin has made an unfortunate discovery. Like they suspected, the pulsating pattern observed from LIMSA was, in fact, due to a sensory malfunction in Science Officer Shota Yoshida's head. Science Officer Shota Yoshida has turned erratic and suffers delusions about the star's pulsating coded warnings about the coming apocalypse, and of having been appointed protector of the realm. The crew believes he himself manipulated the ship's sensory data during a psychotic spell. Shota Yoshida is now in a medical pod headed back to Earth, where he will receive treatment. Thank you for your service, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So, yeah, that is the bad outcome of that. So we have lost a scientist. I'm going to say, now like I said, what I like about this is the stories that come out. It was something to do with this crystal. I mean, this puzzle box. When he was solving the puzzle box, something happened to him. That's what caused the psychotic break. So, because it was after that, he started claiming there was something wrong with his star. And speaking of which, I need to build a research station there and then move back over here. Because we did get some more physics research in that area when we finished that anomaly. But yeah, I'm going to blame that puzzle box. Something about the puzzle box drove him mad, and that's when all this started. But we need a new scientist. We have a spark of genius, field manipulation, and materials. We already have a materials. Field manipulation would get us that. Okay. We are going to get the spark of genius. We are going to recruit a spark of genius. Leader is prone to sudden burst of inspirations. Enrique Torres. We are going to put him doing our engineering research. And we are going to take this ship over here that's doing surveys, that has just a biologist in it, and put Giovanni Marchetti in here, because she has meticulous. And we are going to take this one and put the biologist in it. And what we're going to do with this ship for now is send it to Earth and have it assist research. Because we want her to gain at least 1, maybe 2 more levels before we try and knock out any more of these. Or maybe he will gain a few levels and be able to knock them out faster. I don't know. Well, that's a dead end. We'll have to come back and get that after we finish this.
Knowledge is the key to the universe.
Modulated fields allow for increased production and improved energy yield. Colony development speed would really help out, since we're going to build 2 more colonies. So we're going to get that. It'll be about 3 years. This colony will be developed before that, but these 2 will not. We've still got a while to build up the influence to keep pushing this way. We need influence to claim 3 more. We're about to claim a 2nd one. And once we get to Sugalia, we will should have the colony development speed. So we're about 3 years away from our first robot. Now, we did get the robot modding thing, but the thing is, until we actually get a species in our empire, I don't think we can modify the robots. Yeah, it won't let me create robots until I have one in my or modify robots till I have one produced in my empire.
Anomalous readings registered.
Made an encounter in Romanox with somebody we've codenamed the Ogres. That's the 2nd time back-to-back encounters have used the same identifier. A cursory scan of the planet's surface reveals a weak signal pulsing into the darkness of space on the barren plains. It's only a level above her, and this is the one who really researches fast, so yeah. Alright, let's pull out Julian Sullivan. I don't see him. So that means it's somebody with better sensors, or we just encountered another space station again. They will be there. That's where they'll be.
System survey concluded.
And we're moving there now. Greetings, Patron Dolores Moonga. We have recently been forced to scrap most of our technical equipment due to a major malfunction. Would the materials in scrap be of any use to you by chance? So we could salvage the materials for 500 minerals. Don't really need that. We can repair it for them. That will give us a boost of influence. We're going to do that. So now we have enough influence to claim that system. Yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody just built a space station right here. The UNS Lagrange has detected one of our missing sublight probes in the manward system. We should begin recovery efforts as soon as possible.
Situation log has been updated.
Yeah, they've got a base here, so there's not really much point to me surveying the system. So all we're going to do is research that project. Take 6 months. Okay, that's a desert world. Before you research that project, survey that desert world. That will count as a desert world. Now we just need an arid world and a Arctic world. 2 world types, and we're qualified for the yeah, 2 world types, and we are qualified for the follow-up quest. Yeah, they must have a colony on that, or primitive civilization is on it 1, because it's not showing up here. Of course, it's also in an occupied system. And after you do that, we got to pass back through this system, so we will survey that way and then that way. Yeah, he is building an observation post, I'm willing to bet. Yeah, I believe that's going to be an observation post. So there's a primitive civilization on Manward. So we probably won't get to this archaeological site. They might end up getting it. We have detected the presence of a civilization on Manward 2, the Churk civilization. They appear to be in the early space age, as evidenced by the many primitive satellites orbiting their homeworld. Their nation states are on the path toward joining together in a global government, and it is likely only a matter of time before they venture beyond their world and join the galactic community. Now, if you don't build an observation post over a early space age civilization, they will eventually become a new empire on their own within about 50 or so years, or 50 to 200 years. Once you build a observation post over them, they will not automatically elevate. The only way they'll elevate is if an event happens and you let it happen. They've got 28 pops. So this desert world, yeah, they're in an early space age. Yeah, all of their stuff is listed as primitive. They have a primitive factory, but they're in the early space age? Okay. The signal originates from the remains of an antenna-like structure. Exploratory probes were dispatched from the UNS Aldrin to the surface to investigate the matter more closely. What Science Officer Ariana Marino found was a cavernous vault that, while easily pried open, was evidently the last safe house and refuge of some long-dead race of aliens. While reasonably technologically advanced, it seems they never reached for the stars and perished to some planet-wide natural disaster. The vault is immense, housing thousands upon thousands of black boxes that the UNS Aldrin has determined to be data storage devices. A special project has been prepared to decode their contents.
Situation log has been updated.
Only take 2 months. Most of these normally take 6, so we're going to research that project.
Construction completed.
Alright, build me some mining stations and then move on here. And it has been another 5 years, so we will call this an episode. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.